not all of the upgrades. When the upgrades come in, a lot of people not gonna make it. Look here.
You said you're not going to make it because of the upgrades?
They not gonna make it. I just posted. I posted today. If you on the funeral home, get yourself ready because business is about to pick up.
Why would upgrades knock so many people out or turn
They
a lot of
didn't.
people's?
They didn't do their work. Most of it because they didn't do their work. More than any other reason, no matter what kind of scientific explanation you give, the number one reason is they stuck in low vibrational energy. They only vibrating from their lower three chakras, I should say. They only vibrating from their lower three chakras, and none of their upper chakras has gotten any work. They heart dirty, stop them at the fourth. They throat chakra, they won't speak their truth because they scared of what other people gonna say, so they attack the people that do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They third eye closed because they can't see the stuff that I'm showing you now. Look at these M classes. Look at the time. 627, 643, 735, 817, 1008, 1145, 1215, 103, 136. Okay, now all of those different M class flares, M1.2, M1.0, M1.6, M2.6, all the way down. Right? Now, that's the median. We still got a major X flare coming. That ain't got here yet. This is the preliminary. All this is the earth. The sun is feeding the earth the energy based on what the Maherta aligned told it to fix whatever earth sent back to the sun by Schumann resonance. The women's mitochondria is directly plugged into the physical earth. Right? I got a post on that. I'll send it to you later if you want it. But the women, this is why in the 5% nation they call them the earths.
Indeed.
Right? They are literally, not figuratively, because sometimes we be talking and we be talking in like metaphors. They literally, mitochondria is literally in the soil.
Black sheep of the family are the generational curse breakers. They have been called by God to break generational curses. They question unhealthy patterns. They stand alone. They don't want to repeat cycles, and they are highly empathetic beings. They are willing to stand alone if it means walking in truth, because they refuse to conform to any illusions. In scripture, God often called people out before he called them forward. When God chooses someone, he sets them apart. And when God sets someone apart in the physical world, this often looks like being outcasted. This often looks like being pushed out, but it's not. It's actually divine protection at work. Is actually God preserving you. God has called you to come out from among them. Contrary to popular belief, being called or being chosen is not glamorous. It is highly uncomfortable. It means being misunderstood, being lied on, being smear campaigned, being treated like trash, being used. It's you walking through the darkness that's what's going to bring out your light, so that you can be that light to others. So don't mistake your isolation for rejection. Separation is preparation. The assignment that God has for you requires a different environment than the one that you came from. A different environment than the one that God has stripped you away from. Don't spend your life trying to fit into a place that God has called you to come out of. Your identity is from being chosen in God, not being chosen by the world.
I heard another creator say that most magnetic people do not cringe at themselves, and that cringing at yourself is an act of internal violence. And I felt that. She basically said every time that you cringe at yourself, every time that you say something negative about yourself, you're literally evil-eyeing yourself. You're literally casting doubt on your own mind. You're casting doubt on your being. I'm learning that every time you decide to agree with a hateful comment, a hateful thought about yourself, that is self-harm. I'm also learning that to get the things that you desire in this lifetime, you have to embody this mindset that you deserve it. People that get what they desire do not cringe at themselves. They do not call themselves embarrassing. They do not reject themselves on a daily basis. They have a high self-concept because they're constantly pouring love into their own mind. They're constantly validating themselves. They're constantly telling themselves that they are exactly who they say they are. You cannot get what you want without believing that you deserve it. Point blank, period.
Your enemies are going to have to publicly apologize. Let me say that one more time. Your enemies are going to have to publicly apologize. Your enemies are going to have to hear in the spirit, are going to have to run back the lie that they told, and they're going to have to tell the truth. They're going to have to admit where they were wrong. The Bible, I got Bible for it. The Bible reminds us that it's Paul and Silas that after the doors of the jail open up from the earthquake and them singing the hymns. The Bible lets us know that the next day that the Roman officials, the government officials wanted to let Paul and Silas go free. They wanted them to go in secret. And Paul and Silas was like, hey, you beat us in public. You tortured us in public. You broke us down in public. You embarrassed us public. Don't just dismiss us privately. Don't let us go away privately. If you did it publicly, fix it publicly. And God told me to tell somebody, because the Bible says that once they found out that Paul and Silas were Roman citizens, they became afraid because they did not give Paul and Silas a trial. They did not do their proper process, their proper due diligence. And God told me to tell you, your enemies, they really are scared. They really are shaking because they didn't realize you one of God's favorite. They didn't realize God don't play about you. Yeah. They didn't realize that you were not only a citizen of the United States or whatever government you're from. They didn't realize you are a child of God, and God don't play about you. And I want to let you know, Paul and Silas, they stood on business. They said, basically, if you can embarrass us publicly, you can come escort us and apologize to us publicly. And what I want to let you know, your enemies are going to have to publicly apologize, because you can't. After what they did to you, you can't even let them do it privately. If they were bold enough to do it publicly, you better be bold enough to do it. You better be bold enough to do it publicly. Ain't no private. Ain't nothing gonna happen privately. God told me to tell you, they're gonna have to run back the lie. They're gonna have to run back the narrative. They're gonna have to admit what they did wrong. God told me to tell you, get ready, because a public apology is coming your way. They're gonna have to run back that lie.
I got so many people against me right now, and I ain't even the type of person to do people wrong. I'm the one that's always helping, giving advice, giving money, giving opportunities, giving my time, giving support, trying to see the good in everybody. And one day I sat back and realized something. Every single person that got negative energy towards me right now benefited from me at one point. Every last one of them. And what they all got in common is, at some point, I put boundaries in place. And that's when everything changed. See, dysfunctional people love access. Takers love unlimited access. Users love the version of you that never say no. The old you, the overgiving you, the always available you, the emotionally exhausted you, the version of you that let people stomp all over you just to keep the peace. But the moment you start protecting your peace, the moment you stop over-explaining, the moment you stop letting people use your kindness as a resource, now you the villain. Now they gossip. Now they paint narratives about you. Now they don't like your energy. Now they trying to turn people against you. And why? Because boundaries expose people. See, healthy people respect boundaries. People with integrity respect boundaries. But people who benefited from your lack of boundaries, they take your growth personally. And a lot of y'all watching this right now think you the bad person because people switched up on you after you changed. Nah, you just stopped being easy to use. That's the part nobody want to talk about. Some people never loved you. They loved the access they had to you. They love the emotional control. They love the resources. They love the favor. They love that you was always available. And when you start requiring accountability, respect, reciprocity, that relationship start dying. Stop blaming yourself for losing people who only showed up to take from you. Everybody that leave your life ain't a loss. Some people leave because the door to misuse you got closed. And that's not your guilt to carry. That's their frustration to heal. And listen to me. Your boundaries gonna offend any person that benefited from you not having any.
No matter what, the most powerful thing in the world is the human mind, and prayer, and belief in yourself, and confidence, and perseverance. No matter how many times you do it again until it's right. And always believe in yourself, and no matter who's around you that's being negative or thrusting negative energy at you, totally block it off. Because whatever you believe, you become. Yes, and after all of that, the most important, stay humble.
Like, you know why people don't like me? Because I hold people accountable. I make everybody stand on what they say and what they do to me. And people don't like that. I'm a very genuine person, but I'm also very blunt. I don't take BS for an answer. Other than that, we ain't gotta be cool. And it's a lot of things that, you know, I let go. A lot of relationships I let go. A lot of things I don't speak on. Because if I get to speaking on it, then I'm gossiping. But when I tell you so many people did me dirty and then left me talking about this is why I don't have friends and this, that, and the third. No, I hold you accountable. And you're not real enough to be like, yeah, this is what I did. This is how I feel. You ain't never had a real friend in your life, baby. Y'all like yes men. Y'all like people that are comfortable with your bullshit. And it's just not me.
So I ran into one of my neighbors, one of them that's worth around like 300 million. He was like, oh, you still here? I said, yeah, I'm still here. He's like, damn, it must be going good. I said, it's going all right. It's going pretty well. He's like, where's everybody at? Where your people's at? I got quiet on him. He was like, are you still doing it? I said, yeah, of course. It's like, you haven't given up yet. I said, no. He said, so that means you're getting closer. I was like, what? He's like, understand something, Chris. Anytime you don't quit when it gets rough like this, that means something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. Remember, this is all a business. No matter what business it is, entertainment business, any kind of business, you keep going, something will happen. Something.
Motherfuckers really enjoy being around you, being all up in your energy, all up in your face, and hating your guts. What the fuck? And you know what? I used to be so confused on why. It's like, okay, if you don't like me and if you don't really fuck with me like that, why the fuck do you want me around? Or why do you want to be around me? Like, why do you want to interact with me if you don't fuck with me for real? Or you're jealous or whatever the case is, right? And I figured out why. They wanted to continue to take notes. So when they fake wrote you off and thought that they were going to come in and destiny swap and try to take your personality and take your aura and take how you talk and walk and dress and do your hair and just everything about you, bitch, no matter what. They'll take little pieces, you know what I'm saying? They try to be strategic, too. They be trying to be very strategic, as if motherfuckers don't peep shit, right? Taking notes ass motherfuckers. That's why they wanted to be around, bitch. And not only that, hold on, I got another one for you. They also needed you as an energy source and supply. Their batteries go out so quick without you around. You're the light. You're the plug. You're the spark. Without you, it's you know what I'm saying? You know how your phone has that green charged up battery and then when it's going dead, like on 10%, it goes on that red. That's them majority of the time without you being around. Yeah, they need to feed off of you. They have to harvest and you know, eat off of you. They need it. Your energy is fucking contagious. You understand? So that's why, if anyone was wondering, why the fuck, if you don't like me, if they don't like me, why they keep wanting me around? Because, and then not only that, they need somebody to talk about. Their lives are boring. They're bored. They need somebody interesting who's not
a sheep, a follower. You know what I'm saying? They need a goat to talk about. They need you. Because they're boring. They're tuned in with everything that you do say. If they could be in your thoughts, they would. So that's why, if anybody was wondering, Ashayo, do what you will with that information.
Wait, I just realized the people that you make mad, they're getting mad because they're NPCs. They're not winning. They're not playing the game. The game is playing them. Ah! So they're mad when they see you playing the game, especially when they see you winning the game. Oh my god. Oh my god. Because they literally cannot fucking... That's actually crazy. That's a crazy realization. They haven't learned how to play the game yet, so they think they can't. They think they can't be as free as you. So they think that the game... They think that the game is real. So it's playing them. Because you have to detach from it. You have to detach from it and realize it's not fucking real so that you can then do what you want with it and win and create your own game within the game. Ah! That's another thing that just goes to show the people that you're pissing off or the people that are trying to bring you down or that have negative opinions about you, that is literally just because they're not on the same plane of existence as you. Like, literally. Your frequencies are just too different that they're not going to be able to understand until they get to those levels within themselves. So, as of that moment, they are on an entirely different plane of existence, a whole different reality, babe. So, it doesn't fucking matter what they think. Like, it already didn't matter what they think, but in case you need another reason, there you go.
Prince literally used to perform with his ass out. Did you notice how even the most orthodox red pill people never say anything about it? How is he doing that? Fool's frame. Number 0, undefinable, and in their fullest form becomes a category of 1, the magician. And Prince was very vocal about it. Here's proof that he knew exactly what he was doing. Towards the end of his career, he literally changed his name to a symbol. You can't even say it, literally. He was very vocal about owning the rights to his music and his name. But what does this mean philosophically? It means you decide how the fuck shit is. You think there weren't people saying heinous things about this flamboyant guy back in the late 70s? But I hear no evil, I see no evil, and as above, so below. What I believe becomes reality. But the devil leaves a trick here that a lot of people fall victim to, is they forget about action. The thing about Prince that he always talked about is he literally he made so much music. He was making something like 50 to 100 songs a day. It's relentless action because the thought has to come into form. How does it do that? Through action. So don't just be the fool, act like the fool, becoming one of one, nobody's tool. Follow for more of the magician's path.
I stopped being the bigger person the day I realized it was just a polite way of letting people mistreat me without consequence. I'm not interested in extending grace to people that intentionally tried to hurt me. That chapter of my life is closed. I spent years taking hits from people and calling it growth, letting them create a mess and staying composed while they walked away from it without a single scratch. I had to accept it. That's not emotional intelligence. That's really self-betrayal dressed up in just trying to keep the peace. I'm not keeping the peace no more. From now on, I don't owe my silence to anyone who used my kindness as a doorway to keep crossing me. And I refuse to keep protecting the image of people who had zero problem dismantling mine when I wasn't in the room. Oh, you don't think I heard that? Listen. Wanting someone to face the consequences of what they put you through does not make you bitter, and it doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you honest. And honesty has never been a problem. The problem was me pretending I wasn't affected just to make other people comfortable with what they did. That time is over. That time is over. I'm done blurring the lines so somebody else can sleep at night. Some of them never respected my kindness. They just read it as a clearance to keep going. And the moment I stopped giving them access, suddenly I became the problem. Nah, I don't care about being the bigger person anymore. It is what it is. I'm just gonna be the honest one. And if that makes you uncomfortable, so be it. I don't even care. Now you know how I felt the entire time.
Quickest way to create an identity is to create an enemy. Every religion understands this, every tribe, every political movement, every empire.
If everyone loves what you're going to do and you have no enemies, you have no opposition, nothing to resist, you're just going to be mush. You're not going to amount to anything.
Because the moment you know who you're against, You no longer have to ask who you are. That's why a room full of strangers can become united the moment they all dislike the same person. This is also why having enemies has become a status symbol. Every enemy is proof that someone has built part of their identity around you. Ask yourself who your enemy is, and you will discover something about yourself. Ask yourself who needs you as theirs, and you'll discover something about them.
Boy, I get to jumping up and down this motherfucking tub like I'm in a Pentecostal church, boy. Let me rinse my back real quick. I just left the Jew. Baby, something got put on my spirit, baby. And you know how I get when something get put on my spirit to talk about, baby. Shit. Friend, you been shrinking trying to fit in the rooms you was called to lead, and you know that. And you been knew that for a long time. You sitting on the back row.
Hey, can I have an opinion? Can I exist? Can I speak? Can I,
Get up on that motherfucking stage and hold that motherfucking microphone, friend. Tell them motherfuckers what you got to say. Hell. Now, I'm not finna keep playing with you. Baby, it's 2026. We going to fuck off. Cause what it is, you don't doubt that you can accomplish what you've been called to do. You don't doubt that. What it is you don't want to go through that in between. Hold on. Hey, no shade, friend. You don't want to go through that in between because it's a little scary there. A lot of change, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of uncertainty. But friend, that season you trying to put out, that season is where you build. That's where the determination comes from. That's where the grit comes from. That's where the confidence comes from. That's where the faith comes from. That's where the strength comes. Like that season right there. That's where it's at, friend. We don't want to go there. Hey, baby, I ain't telling you nothing I don't know. We don't want to go there, but we must.
And the cold thing is, nigga, they don't even be mad at you for quit fucking with them. They mad at why you quit fucking with them. Because they already know that they lost that connection with the Most High God. They know that already. You feel me? But it's like soon as you started to get your connection with the Most High God, you lost connection with them. And you start putting two and two together like, nigga, God don't even fuck with them. You feel me? Why the fuck should you fuck with them? God trying to let you know he giving you every signs, nigga, to leave them motherfuckers alone. Nigga, them bitches cast it out. Why you fucking with them? What is you over there for? You know what I'm saying? Real spill, family. These motherfuckers don't supposed to sit close to you at all, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta call your power back, because motherfuckers try to tell you, be humble. Now, you need to be humble. Everybody's equal. Fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to be worried about you, nigga. Fuck a equal. You know what I'm saying? We not worried about what everybody else got going on. We worried about what you doing on your journey. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to be focusing on you and your journey, nigga. That's it. That's all. We not worried about what everybody else said in their journey. You know what I'm saying? We not worried about reciprocating shit, nigga. We pushing out what we pushing out, and what we gonna get back is what we gonna get back. You hear me? So understand that shit. It ain't no reason for you to go fucking with motherfuckers when God don't even fuck with them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? You saving dead grass, family. You hear me? Understand this shit.
There's a quote that says, you cannot perceive something you're not in the same vibration of. And that is so real. I think in my 20s, I'm learning that it's imperative for me to stop expecting people to understand me. People can only see you within the realms of their own projection. And if someone has a limited view on how they see themselves, how do you expect them to see you? It's like telling someone that only speaks Spanish to read a paragraph in English. Like, they might understand a couple words, but they're not going to get the gist of the story. Once you realize that, it's also important to not take judgment personally, because it's not personal. When someone tries to put you down or tell you about yourself, they're really just talking about themselves. It's not personal. You cannot perceive something you're not in the same vibration of. So pay attention to the people that actually see you.
It happens in silence. One day the kindest person you know simply disappears from your life. No warning, no explanation, no final conversation. They're just gone. And according to Carl Jung, this is not coldness. This is psychology's most powerful act of becoming. When someone finally cuts everyone off, they aren't losing themselves, they're returning to themselves. And once that process begins, nothing reverses it. Jung spent decades studying this pattern, and what he found surprised everyone. These weren't the difficult people. These weren't the ones holding grudges. These were the ones who stayed the longest, who forgave the most, who absorbed what others couldn't, and kept showing up anyway, until the day they didn't. And Jung didn't call that a collapse. He called it an awakening. Here's what most people never understand about the person who walked away. They didn't decide this recently. The decision was made quietly over years, and Jung called it the accumulation phase, the long silent period where the unconscious mind is keeping a record of the conscious mind, refuses to acknowledge. Every time their generosity was treated as obligation, recorded. Every time their patient was mistaken for permission, recorded. Every time they swallowed something that deserved to be said, recorded. They never mentioned it. They never showed it. They kept giving, kept forgiving, kept making themselves available to people who had stopped making themselves worthy of it. But something deeper was counting, and kind people, truly kind people, are not weak. They are precise. This is where Jung's concept of the shadow becomes everything. Everyone carries a shadow, the unacknowledged parts of the self. For most people, it holds the darker impulses, the anger they won't admit to, the selfishness they pretend isn't there. But for the chronic giver, the one who learned early that their needs were inconvenient, the shadow holds something else entirely. Their strength, their boundaries, their capacity to choose themselves, their ability to walk away from what was never truly reciprocated. And when that shadow finally activates, it doesn't explain itself. It doesn't offer closure. It doesn't wait for the right moment or the right words or the right understanding from people who never tried to understand them before. It simply moves completely, finally, without looking back. And this is called individuation, the process of becoming fully yourself, not the version of yourself built around everyone else's comfort. The actual self, the one that exists when the performance of selfishness is finally allowed to end. And you cannot reach that self while pouring everything you have into people who never once asked if you had enough left for yourself. The cutting off isn't the loss. The cutting off is the arrival. The silence you left behind is not emptiness. It's the sound of a person who gave everything to everyone, finally giving something to themselves.
This is part 2 on how to know if family members are jealous of you. In my last video, I know that some people said it's obvious sometimes, but sometimes it's not obvious. For the longest time, I didn't know that certain things were jealousy. I thought it was because, I don't know what I thought. I didn't think it was jealousy because it's like I didn't have nothing for people to be jealous of. Or at least so I thought. I didn't have much materialistically. So I thought because I didn't have much materialistically, that means people can't be jealous of me. But that doesn't really mean anything. So that's why I'm doing these videos. Jealousy and envy shows up in many different ways. You don't have to have much for people to be jealous of you. People could be jealous of things that aren't tangible. So, yes, someone could be jealous of your looks, or someone could be jealous that you have materialistic things that you have that they may not have. But people could also be jealous of things that are not tangible. People could be jealous of your energy. People could be jealous of your resilience. People could be jealous of your aura. People could also be jealous of and envy the way you bounce back from situations that were meant to fucking break you. Your motivation and ability to want better, have better, do better. People could be jealous of that as well. Members are jealous of you, they will withhold useful information so you can continue struggling, or you can stay in the same place that you're in or at because they don't want you to surpass them, or they don't want you to get ahead. Not only family does this, but a lot of everyday people do this as well. Or they have the mindset, oh, I'm gonna let them figure it out on their own. Instead of just telling you the useful information that you could use to help you, they rather watch you struggle and let you figure it out on your own. When family is jealous, they'll also ignore your wins, or when you're doing good, they won't acknowledge you. They won't tell you congratulations if you just accomplished something. They won't acknowledge it, or if they do it, they'll do it late. That's all intentional. They don't really support you. They're not quick to support you, but they're quick to observe something about you. The support don't really be there, but they're quick to always say something. They're quick to make an observation that's unsolicited. Some of them will try to purposely provoke you. Either they'll group together to try to provoke you, or most of the time, if they are doing it alone, it's to make a smear campaign and to get you out of character so they could prove that you're crazy, or it's to make you look bad. So they'll do things to purposely get a reaction out of you. And if you fall for the bait and react, they will use that against you when the whole time you're just reacting off of what they just did. But they'll try to make it seem like, oh, see, she's crazy or he's crazy. They have a nasty disposition or a nasty attitude, but they did something to purposely provoke you to react that way.
I think one of the hardest people to deal with is somebody who feels like they have absolutely nothing to lose. I'm talking about the kind of person who don't care what come out their mouth. Don't care who they hurt. Don't care about the consequences to their actions. See, when somebody believes that they have nothing to protect, they will risk everything just to prove a point. They'll disrespect you. They'll lie on you, embarrass you, threaten you, or even try to drag you down with them because they don't value peace. They are used to chaos. That's why you got to be careful. You cannot argue with everybody. You can't keep explaining yourself to people who already decided they don't care. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is walk away and protect your peace. Because when somebody has nothing to lose, they can become dangerous. But you have too much to lose to let somebody else's reckless behavior pull you into something that could have been avoided. Protect your peace, protect your future, and know when it's time to leave people exactly where they are. Okay?
There's a particular man that respects himself so high that he doesn't even speak to himself in a tone of disrespect. That kind of a man, how you speak to him, you need to be meticulous in your tone, your speech, and the words that you use. You cannot talk to that type of a man as if you're falling from a tree. You see, in a world where men don't really care about themselves and they do whatever that they like, there's a caliber kind of man that even your speech matters to him. Your tone matters to him, because he's not someone that disrespects himself. So he will never allow another individual to disrespect him. So the problem is, most women are used to men that insult people, insult women. They don't even respect themselves. So now when you come before a man that respects himself and upholds himself so highly, you think that you can do the things that you used to do with other men. No, you can't behave like that there. You need to come correct. Every word you use you must choose it wisely. You must think before you talk. Because those type of men, they don't take words lightly. They don't dismiss your attitude simply because they want to sleep with you. Those type of men, you can't even seduce them with your skirt to try and apologize. No, that doesn't work there. In a world where you feel as if like, as long as I sleep with him, he's going to forget what I said. No, that doesn't work there. He's not even interested in you in that manner, as long as you disrespect him. He respects himself so high that he is not moved by every skirt that moves on the street. So when you deal with a man that respects himself, you need to be very respectful, because he will never accept any treatment that is less than the treatment he gives himself. If you cannot see him the way he sees himself, there is no way you can stay in that man's life.